Brace the rudders! Raise the sails! Raise the sails!
Captain, an unidentified ship is approaching. Over.
Roger. Wait, is that an Enterprise sales solution?
Reach sales professionals, not professional sailors. With LinkedIn ads, you can target the right people by industry, job title, and more. Start converting your B2B audience today. Spend $250 on your first campaign and get a free $250 credit for the next one. Get started today at linkedin.com/campaign. Terms and conditions apply.
Hi, it's Dave here. This is my wife, Kathy.
Hello.
This is The Cinemile. It's the podcast where we walk home from the movies. Today we're going to the movies. We're going to go see The Bride, which is the newest film written and directed by Maggie Gylenhaal or Gylenhaal, depending on how you say your G's.
I'm excited for this, and we really wanted to catch it this weekend. It's just come out. We couldn't get to it till Sunday evening. We're now walking down to it. So even though our podcast normally comes out every Sunday, just this week it is out on a Monday.
Yeah, sorry, it's a day late.
Day late. Don't be too confused. We'll be back to normal schedule as of next week. But we really wanted to see this, and Dave hasn't seen Hamnet, but I have. And I do think it's interesting that Jessie Buckley's on the Oscar trail for Hamnet, but in a new release now. And she's so good in Hamnet, and it's such a particular performance that I'm dying to see her in something really different.
I watched the trailer for this movie a while back, The Bride, and she's so kind of heavily behind makeup, and she's got a wig. I legit did not know it was Jessie Buckley.
Oh really?
No, I didn't.
I haven't even watched the trailer because I'm so excited. I've never seen Maggie Gylenhaal has made one other film which I've not seen. I'm really excited to see her as a director. And of course we recently...
She wrote it as well.
Yeah, I wrote it. And we recently watched Frankenstein. If you go back only a few weeks in the feed, we watched it very
Guillermo
recently.
del Toro's.
So yeah, a bit of a Frankenstein vibe in our household. Can't wait for this.
We're double Frankensteining it this month.
This is based on a book, The Bride of Frankenstein, which came out in the 30s, I believe, which of course was inspired by Mary Shelley's Frankenstein. So I have never read that book. I haven't seen any Bride of Frankenstein stuff, so I'm very intrigued.
Wait, this is based on... I watched the trailer for this and I thought it was just some sort of crazy Bonnie and Clyde take on...
Oh, I don't mean it's necessarily an adaptation, but there was a book in the 30s, Bride of Frankenstein. So it's inspired by that at the very least.
Famously, all the monster movies, she used to show up a lot, The Bride of Frankenstein. And... even in, it's a classic thing. You got to give Frankenstein's monster's lonely.
You do, yeah.
And he needs a bride.
He needs a companion.
So.
And
naturally, you get a corpse.
We avoid reviews before you go to the cinema, but on this one, I can't help it. I've just seen a few headlines and they seem
Don't tell me.
Really mixed.
Don't tell me.
They're mixed.
Well, now you've told me.
So there's nothing to tell you.
So when I said don't tell me.
They're mixed.
But you've told me now.
I have.
Yeah.
But that makes me more excited because I love coming at something with mixed reviews. Then you truly don't know what you're going to get and your expectations aren't that high.
What if you come out and you have mixed feelings?
Then we'll talk about them. Right. It's the first time this year we've walked to the cinema in daylight for an evening screening. Spring is upon us. It's exciting. Right, we'll see you on the other side after we've watched The Bride.
Yes, and typically the sun will go down.
So
when we come out, the sun will have gone down.
And you won't hear all these lovely birds chirping that you can hear right now.
Are you enjoying our tracking this daylight savings, the
it's
podcast?
It's amazing, yeah.
Okay, bye. See you soon.
What happened?
You had an accident.
An accident, huh?
We dug you up, and we brought you back to life.
Get on stage, and I call her by her first name.
What do you want with a dead girl?
I'm the same, born from the dead. I am a monster.
Yeah, so am I.
This world is a black hole.
The corrupt are going to see life is here and it's coming to you from the monsters.
Yes! Yes!
Everybody dance! Everybody sing!
Hi, we're back. We've seen The Bride. If it's your first time here at the Cinemile, we won't spoil the movie until we get to Spoiler Street. Kathy, what did you think of The Bride?
Firstly, I said in the intro that it was inspired by a book from the 30s. I meant film. We've just come out of it, and I'm actually befuddled. Usually we come out of a film and we're able to talk about it straight away. I'm very conflicted about this film. First of all, I admire how bonkers it is. It's really wild. Maggie Gylenhaal is really creative as a director. It's a very unusual film. Jessie Buckley's really good. Christian Bale's really good. And I admired how weird it was. I enjoyed having just watched Frankenstein and then watching this. I think, like, obviously that's a good pairing. They're completely different films, but it was fun to watch them nearly back to back with a couple of weeks between them. Overall, I don't know that I particularly enjoyed it as a film, but many elements of it I had fun with, if you know what I mean. And we'll get into it, but I had fun with elements of it, but I don't know that I actually, as a film, liked it. I don't know. Dave, what do you think? I'm just flummoxed. I don't know what to say about it. It's so weird.
I did not like it. It's not for me. I agree with you. I admire the kind of audaciousness of it. It's really bold.
It's mad, yeah.
Yeah, I think I respect Maggie Gylenhaal for.
Are we just going to hedge our bets and say both?
If I say Gil, you say Jill. Okay. At least one of us is right. Then I respect her for having, feels like a very singular, weird vision that she has brought together. She's made a lot of choices. I don't think.
Fair play to her, yeah.
I don't think it hangs together. It didn't work for me. The feelings I experienced throughout this movie were boredom, frustration. I was never at all invested in any of the characters. I found them excruciatingly annoying. I found I think Jessie Buckley is a fantastic actress, but just whatever the choices that either she or Maggie G. Let's call her Maggie G. made in this movie, she was just wildly annoying.
But there's something that I want to get into on Spoiler Street because I don't know if it's in the trailer because I've not seen the trailer.
Okay.
But there's like the whole Bride of Frankenstein thing, right? Like obviously that's like the main part of the film. But there's a really weird other mechanism that the film uses.
Yeah, that's not in the trailer.
That we'll get to in Spoiler Street. And that's what makes it annoying.
That's a disaster.
That's what makes it annoying. But Jessie Buckley acts it amazingly.
Oh yeah, no. Jessie Buckley did what she was told or whatever she wanted to bring.
That's what I'm saying. The device was really annoying.
Yeah, the device is a
problem. So therefore we were sighing in our seats when this particular thing happened that we'll get to in spoilers. But how they did it, I really admired and thought was very cool. But I just didn't like the device itself.
Yeah, I'm with you.
You know
we'll
what
talk
I mean?
about it in spoilers.
Yeah.
And look,
Jessie Buckley is she's so cool in this. And you mentioned how she looks, and I do have to say, and I forgot to say that how the whole film looks is incredible. It looks so cool.
I love this. I love the. Yeah, let's talk about what we did like. I love the style of, what is it, 40s America, Chicago. You know, old-fashioned movies and top hats and
kind of
costumes and mob stuff.
Gangster
I
stuff.
really liked the image that they use heavily of the bride having this black splatter across her face.
Yeah, because it's like the chemicals that were inside her.
Yeah, it's a cool look.
It's very cool.
It's interesting. I found the look of Christian Bale's Frankenstein's monster to be far less interesting. It felt like the default go-to, and by design, I guess.
By design, yeah.
The most boring version of Frankenstein's monster.
Well, because it's not his movie, so I like that. It's like,
I guess maybe that's what they're saying.
It's not Jacob Elordi's film, you know. It's the background character, and he just kind of looks like the Frankenstein we all know from millions of cartoons and whatnot over the years.
It's just a bit disappointing when they did such a cool, interesting, iconic take on the Bride of Frankenstein for this.
But it's her, it's not him.
Oh, but I guess maybe that's the point.
Yeah.
But I think her look would make a great I don't know how well this movie's doing, but it would make a great Halloween costume.
I agree. Yeah, because
wouldn't
it's
it be a great
look.
dress up
Yeah.
thing?
It's funny because to how well it's gonna do or not, we don't know. It's just come out this weekend, so we haven't seen the box office.
I can't see this landing very well.
It's funny because I feel like it probably got a bigger release than maybe it would have if Jessie Buckley wasn't up for all this Oscar buzz. Did you know that Jessie Buckley and Maggie G made a movie together a couple of years ago? It was called The Lost Daughter. I've never seen it.
No, I haven't seen it.
But that certainly wasn't getting a big cinematic release. But I think between the Oscar stuff And of course, like Frankenstein itself being up for Oscars.
Yeah.
This was a big budget movie. This was a very expensive film.
Well,
It was
anything
originally-
period is going to cost a lot, isn't it?
Yeah, like there's a huge investment in this project, and actually initially it was supposed to be a Netflix project, and then that didn't happen. But it's ended up with quite a big release. Like in our local cinema, it was in the second biggest screen, and when we got to the cinema was really busy. So I was like, oh my god, The Bride's going to do really well. And then we realised they were all going to Peaky Blinders,
yeah.
which we're not going to because we've never watched the show. So I just presume the movie's not for us. Maybe I'm wrong.
And this is Cork, so people turn out for Cillian Murphy.
Exactly, but it's Ireland. People show up for, like when I went to Hamnet in that same cinema without you about 6 weeks ago, it was out the door busy with Hamnet.
Yeah.
Anyway, when we got to our screen, it was actually, even though it's the second biggest screen in the cinema, it was only us and 3 lads, weirdly 3 teenage lads. Love them for that. So it just on a, you know, a sample of one screening, everyone in our cinema was there for Peaky Blinders, not for this. I just don't see it capturing
No,
an
it's
audience because
this
it's
isn't
not
gonna-
really like the fun, schlocky horror romp that I kind of thought it was going to be.
No, the trailer, I didn't get what I wanted from the trailer because I thought the trailer was cool and full of energy and life. I found this film to be all over the place in terms
It's
of the
weird,
plot,
yeah.
in terms of the through line. I'm like, I want to root for Bonnie and Clyde.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter if they're the villains or not.
I
I did not actively at any point feel invested in The Bride.
But I
or
think that's because
Frankie.
of the mechanism we've alluded to. It was impossible to invest in her.
Maybe.
So should we go to spoilers? Because I kind of think it's really difficult to discuss
I
this.
think so. I think it's a big disappointment. I wouldn't recommend it. But again, I'm glad that Maggie G had a shot, had a vision, had a shot, got the funding, and made something incredibly interesting and original. I'll give it that.
Unlike you, I do recommend it for those exact reasons. It's interesting. It's original. You sure I'm going to see something else like it in the cinema?
No.
It's cool. Did I love it? No. But there were many scenes that I really enjoyed.
I can't recommend something where I was uncomfortable in my seat and wanted to leave.
That's because our seats were physically uncomfortable, by the way. Not because the film made him uncomfortable.
Well,
you notice things like uncomfortable seats and...
when your brain is more engaged in that.
Like, I
then-
kept checking my watch, and I'm not one for doing that during the cinema.
Yeah.
Like, it did drag a bit. However, there
Dragged
were
a
a
lot.
couple of scenes that I thought were class.
Yeah, we'll talk about... Let's get
Yeah.
into Spoiler Street now and we'll talk about those.
So Dave doesn't recommend it. I do recommend it.
you
Right.
might hear a quick ad and then we'll go to Spoiler Street.
Spoilers.
It's tax season, and at LifeLock, we know you're tired of numbers. But here's a big one you need to hear. Billions. That's the amount of money in refunds the IRS has flagged for possible identity fraud. Now here's another big number. 100 million. That's how many data points LifeLock monitors every second. If your identity is stolen, we'll fix it guaranteed. One last big number. Save up to 40% your first year. Visit lifelock.com/podcast for the threats you can't control. Terms apply.
Okay, so spoilers for The Bride. To talk about some of the things, the good scenes then.
No, but can we just talk about
Sure.
that weird mechanism? So
Oh yeah, go on.
So it's really strange, right? And it teetered into offensive for me. So the film opens with Mary Shelley, played by Jessie Buckley, telling us that she always wanted to write more than just Frankenstein, and then she died, right?
I want to talk about this.
And
Because I think this is minute one, the film has set itself up for failure.
Yeah,
Go on,
I was
go
like
on.
freaked when that came up because I was like, what the hell? I thought we were watching The Bride of Frankenstein. And then it's like she's Mary Shelley from like Beyond the Grave talking to us in black and white. And then she like possesses this woman in 1930 Chicago who is Jessie Buckley. And so then that character is American, but she's like breaking into English accent.
Yeah, because she's possessed by Mary Shelley.
And
yeah.
that's where I was like, God, Jessie Buckley is such a good actress because I thought it was brilliant how she did that. But within 2 minutes, I was over it. And then
It
then
was
for the whole film,
incredibly
it's like, and then
irritating.
her character dies, and then she gets reanimated, and then she becomes the Bride of Frankenstein. So you've actually got 3 characters within Jessie Buckley. And then later on in the film, she's doing German accents and everything, so I don't know what that was about. But that aside, I was so confused by all this that it really took me out of the actual Bride of Frankenstein plot. And it was distracting, and every time it happened, the Mary Shelley stuff, I thought, it's actually offensive to Mary Shelley that they've done this. Like,
Yeah.
I don't understand why
I
you
agree.
do that to, like,
Do you know-
this incredible author.
And do you know what's really offensive about it, and what set me on the wrong foot with this movie straight away, is to have the author of the original work in your thing to write this down, and then have them say, actually, the masterpiece that's that has echoed for centuries that I wrote is not actually the good story that I wanted to tell. You're about to hear it. You're
right.
about to hear what's the real story, which, let me tell you, is even better than the one that you all know. I'm like,
So it's like,
the
so what Maggie
absolute
G is telling us is that
brazenness
she's... But I
of-
do think in the 30s film, there's something about Mary Shelley. Oh, I wanted to write The Bride. I wanted to write more than
oh,
Frankenstein.
she's like in it, is she?
But I don't, like, I've never seen it and I've only read about it, but I certainly don't
I haven't
think
seen
that
it
the
either.
film is her being possessed by Mary Shelley's ghost.
I just don't think you can't come on and say, guys, you're about to watch the better version of Frankenstein. Then you have to fucking deliver.
But also,
And-
you have to, like, why though? Why couldn't we have just watched? Why was Mary Shelley in it? Like,
I don't know. It added nothing.
I'm
It
dying to
only
watch-
subtracted.
I'm
because
dying to watch an interview where she talks about it, because it's profoundly alarming to me that, like, that bit of it ever got into the film, because it ruins the rest of the film, because the pace of the rest of the film is really interesting, really cool. All the animation
not.
stuff's class. To me it was.
What,
all the
what
Dave,
animation stuff?
the corpse being reanimated.
Oh,
Like,
sorry. Yeah.
all the actual Frankenstein stuff, them being Bonnie and Clyde on the run in 1930s, like, to me that was all cool. But then it would be like, I'm Mary Shelley and now I'm going to do loads of wordplay and be really, really intelligent. And I was like, what is happening? And thank God they kind of
found it
dropped it in the
painful.
second half, because it was painful, like, and they dropped it. But then I thought, but they shouldn't be dropping it though. If you've set it up, actually, let us all go down with it and keep doing it. So don't, like, at least be consistent with your own stupid mechanism. So yeah, but at the same time, I do admire Maggie G, because this is mad shit. Like, this is crazy.
Oh, yeah, it's
This
mad.
is a crazy
And it is
film.
crazy. And, like, on top of that, you have dream sequences where he's kind of... I like this, where he's... Frankenstein's monster is imagining himself in the movies. And
I
then
loved
that
all the
bleeds
movie
into
stuff,
real life.
yeah.
Then there's a really cool musical scene in the middle. When
that
they're
was
at
the best
that
scene in the
club.
film, yeah.
And I thought there's this cool dance sequence, and I thought the way they staged that and
Yeah,
the,
that
and
was
the
class.
choreography was really good.
And they both, like, Christian Bale and Jessie Buckley, I think, have, like, never been better. Like, it was, they're so
Yeah.
cool. They're having so much fun in this film, and like, Hamlet's such a serious film.
I gotta
that
say,
it's really
okay.
nice to come in and see Jessie Buckley kind of having a laugh.
Well, let's dig into this, because I don't think I agree with you, or I feel differently, in that I agree that Jessie Buckley and Christian Bale committed to what they were doing, and they did a great job at it, and they are both excellent actors. But the performances themselves, I didn't like either of them. And you can question what's the line between a performance and a character and what's on the page. But I found his Frankenstein to be uninteresting. And again, the most boring version of it, like, I speak slow.
His Frankenstein is not interesting.
Frankenstein.
Like,
And
he's not supposed to be interesting, though.
boring, and just one note. But like, yeah, he has moments. Obviously, he's a great actor. And Jessie Buckley is just doing the I'm a 1920s girl, and then also British lady, and just like this annoying, like,
Hey, if
over
you're
the
gonna
top
do it, you have to
Oscar
commit to the
Beatty
accents.
tick, and move ahead to the side. And it's again,
It's
it's
not
just
Oscar
like,
Beatty, though. It's just, what the character.
okay,
what
not
was
Oscar
asked of her.
Beatty, but I find this is the kind of over the top performance that often the award ceremonies like to acknowledge. So
You know she's not up for an Oscar for this
no,
film, right?
I know. I'm not questioning that. I'm just saying it's the Oscars love big, crazy, like, this is the kind of, it's just too much, and I didn't like it. I didn't
Okay.
like anything she was doing. Didn't find anything interesting he was doing. Again, acknowledging that they are both great actors who did the job.
Yeah.
They were given, and
Oh,
they
they
did it to
certainly
the,
did the job.
and they did it to the absolute best of their ability.
Can I tell you the worst thing about The Bride?
Yeah, go on.
So, like you said about there being no characters that you could root for. Our main character is the bride, right? And we've 3 characters within that. We've got Mary Shelley, which was so annoying, and I'm glad to hear you were as annoyed as I was by it.
Awful.
Then you have the original woman, Ida.
Yeah.
And then you have the
bride,
monster,
which is the
who is called Penelope / the bride.
Yeah.
So already we've 3 in one there, right? So there's a ton going on, and it was impossible to ever root for her because we didn't know Ida.
Who are any of them?
Yeah, we didn't know Ida at all. All we know about her was that she was like out one night, and then like Mary Shelley took over her body, and that was a cool scene, but it was weird, and like that taught us nothing about her. Then she becomes the bride, so she's trying to get to know herself, and that could have been really interesting. And that's the part of Jacob Elordi's Frankenstein that was really interesting, right, as he kind of got to know himself. But she never got a chance to do it, because in the midst of all that, it's like a 1930s gangster movie. It's a kind of detective thing.
Yeah, by the way, Peter
it's a
Sarsgaard and
fantastical-
Penelope Cruz's characters were pointless.
Pointless, yeah.
Yeah.
Really wasted those 2 actors. Then it's like there's a lot of fantasy stuff, and then you've got other stuff going on with like the doctor, though I was really happy to see Annette Bening because I love her. And then you've got this kind of third character who's also
Who was
following them.
married to, what's his name, who played Clyde in Bonnie and Clyde, right?
Oh, I have no idea.
You're all screaming.
And then you've
Warren
another,
Beatty.
you've another plot where like her ex kind of John is trying to find her because he's under threat. So there's so much happening, and I nearly was like,
I actually forgot about that guy.
but I was nearly like, oh, but I'd love to just be watching a gangster movie, or I'd love to be watching The Bride of Frankenstein, or I'd actually love to watch a film about Mary Shelley because she's incredible, right? She wrote Frankenstein at such a young age. But you kind of ended up with like none of it, and it's one of those
that's it.
things. And I wonder
It's a mishmash of ideas.
I do wonder if it's so hard, right, for female directors to get backing and to get money. And I wonder if because the project was greenlit and she's getting to do it, and famously female directors who get huge budgets basically get it once in their career. And was she just like, fuck it, I want to make a gangster movie, I want to make The Bride of Frankenstein, and I want to make an overtly feminist text, and I enjoyed all the feminist stuff in it.
I like that too.
So,
however,
I just kind of think, was she just like, I'll just throw everything at the wall, and if that's the case, and she thinks she's only ever going to get the budget once, I'm like, you go girl, go for it.
I think you've nailed. Yeah, I think you hit the nail on the head. It's and yeah,
could be wrong.
go for it if you want to try and do all those
could
things.
be wrong.
But they don't all fit together.
No.
And to just dwell on the overtly feminist thing, I thought that also got
Really undercooked, yeah.
undercooked and
'Cause that was
undersold.
cool when all the women
But-
start dressing up like
But
her and
that's
like
a great,
attacking the men.
that's such an interesting idea.
Yeah, it was.
And it amounts to, in the movie,
A montage.
one glimpse of a scene in a montage.
Yeah.
That then you are expected to believe that the entire country has been swept up in a revolution.
Which is so cool.
Which
And
what-
then-
what's a great idea,
yeah,
but you
love
can't
it.
just introduce that as an idea and then abandon it until one scene in a montage and the after credits
Yeah.
scene, which is
There's
it
no
pays
payoff.
off there. But
Yeah.
I'm like, that's not good enough.
And then look, show us them cutting his tongue out. Just show us the whole thing then.
But no, I kind of like that they've implied it. Like, and
Yeah.
that's a good ending because that's a great scene to bring that
Yeah.
thing to a close. But like, don't just like show us the revolution. Show us the
Exactly.
impact. Don't just have the maid now has black makeup.
I
on.
know, and
It's
that's
not really
where I'm
enough.
like, and it was already a long film. But I'm like, if there's so many threads there that, like, if they just taken out all the Mary Shelley stuff because it was so stupid, albeit it's foundational to the film, you couldn't remove it in if you removed that in the edit suite, the movie would make no sense. But like from conception, I'd love if they'd ramped up the feminist women. It's like an early version of women burning their bras, you know. I would have loved to see that ramped up and just cut the Mary Shelley stuff. And you don't need to reimagine Mary Shelley for us. She's so cool. She wrote this book when she was a teenager. She's iconic. Do you know what I mean? Like, we don't need her brought into this.
And yeah.
Just make your own story about the Bride of Frankenstein. So yeah, all that stuff, and it kind of got lost at the end because she was like a
Exactly
3-in-1 character. She's like, I'm not Ida, I'm not Penelope, I'm not Mary, I'm me, I'm the bride. And that was so cool, but that was like nearly an end note as well. And so there was one really cool shot at the end though I loved, where Penelope Cruz leaves them, and then the bride and Frank get
the two hands.
The two hands came
I thought
together.
that was great.
was a great visual.
Great, love
Yeah,
that.
I
And
really liked that.
that's a great final shot for the movie.
Yeah, that was a really cool shot. And then we got 2 end credit scenes.
No, really good. That's good. That's good. The musical scene was good.
I loved
There's-
all the music stuff with Jake Gyllenhaal. Love to see, or Jake G, what's his name? Love to see her bringing
Jakey
her.
G, yeah,
But like, I love to see him in it. And I loved all the stuff about, like, again, that was just like a little thread. And that actually gave Frankenstein had more of a character because, of course, he was only one character in the film as opposed to 3, like she had to do. So he was like, we got a sense of him of just like being this movie nerd, which of course we'll relate to. And he's always going to the cinema to kind of calm himself when he's upset, and it like grounds him. And he's obsessed with this movie star played by Jake Gyllenhaal. And I found all that stuff really endearing. And then I'm annoyed because I'm like, okay, but why did Frankenstein get a hobby? What about my girl Ida? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that was all.
How can she have a hobby when she doesn't
But that's
know
what I'm
who
saying.
she
Like
is?
she has no personality. So like
Yeah,
she's
no.
the star of the film, but he ends up being the one with more personality. So that annoys me as well. But I loved all the movie scenes. I thought that was really fun. Further thoughts, Dave?
No, I just like I'm very disappointed because I wanted this film to hit for me, and I wanted to like what Maggie G has done. I love that we call her Maggie G
The more
now.
we talk
That's
about the
best.
film, this is why it's funny to review a film right after you've seen it. The more we talk about the film, I'm warming up to it. But in the moment,
Oh, really?
I wasn't warm to it. But like intellectually, I'm warm to it. Do you know what I mean?
can't. Yeah, I think I agree with that. I think I like the idea. I like the ambition. I'm glad it exists.
Yeah.
But I did not enjoy the experience of watching it. And nothing that was chosen, none of the choices that were made were felt like the right choices to me.
Except for the bride's makeup.
So how can I? yeah, great job, costume department and makeup.
And like, I was so excited to
so
see
I
him.
don't. So that's a huge fail. That's a miss.
I was so excited when I knew Penelope Cruz was going to be in it, and I was waiting for her for the whole
I didn't
film.
know she was in it.
And then she showed up, and I was like, "Huh? What is this?" That was again. It was like another feminist.
You
subplot
don't
about,
have
like,
room. Yeah, you don't have room in the movie
women
to.
in the 30s couldn't be detectives, so there was like this thing about her wanting to be a detective, and I'm like, okay, but are you a entry-level police officer, or are you the secretary, or like what is happening in
Kathy,
this subplot?
you made such a funny remark in the cinema, which was bang on. When Peter Sarsgaard explains to her that he's retired and his one condition of retirement was that she could take up. You turned to me and said, "You don't make conditions upon your own retirement."
He says, "I'm retiring on one condition that
Which is
you get to
such a
take
good
over
point.
from me." And it's like, you don't decide your successor when you're retiring.
You don't. It's like, I'm gonna retire, but only on condition. It's just like.
And look,
no.
I don't know how police officers work,
don't-
but everyone in this movie
Like,
seemed,
okay, retire,
they
bye.
seemed shocked that there was a woman police officer, and I presume there weren't many in the 30s.
We'll
Secondly, why is she Spanish? And thirdly, is she just promoted now because her male sleazeball of a colleague handed her his badge?
Yeah, because he said to his boss, on condition, this is the only condition that I will retire.
This is what I mean about the film being overstuffed, because it had
It's like,
so
why
much
would they
to
want
say.
him to retire?
The film
Why
actually
is
had
that-
so much to say about the women being overlooked in the 30s, like the doctor saying, "Oh, she publishes under a man's name because it's easy," and that adds all really interesting texture, right? But once you like, just that's enough for the writer, the doctor, to say that. Like, we get it, we understand that. But once you start bringing in this strange plot of a Spanish secretary becoming a detective, I'm like, hold on.
Yeah.
This film needs to pause now and explain what's going on.
Also,
here.
it was so silly. We had at one point there's like there's so much eavesdropping happening in this movie. So you've Penelope Cruz and the other guy who's the mobster guy that's been sent to kill her.
Who, by the way,
who's
showed
just
up
like,
out of nowhere.
He's just following. He just always following, listening until the very end when he shoots her. And
Though
then
there
dies.
was a point there of like
So-
men just letting women do all the hard work while they tag along.
Yeah.
But what I really liked is
yeah.
in the eavesdropping scene, and these were the flourishes that I loved, and I think were really creative. The eavesdropping scene, they're in the car talking, and then it cut the big screen in the drive-in cinema is suddenly them talking in a cinematic way.
Yeah, I thought that was great.
Yeah,
Great
I
idea.
love that. Like, there's some cool flares in it. Do you know, like, having watched this now, I am really looking forward to seeing what she makes next.
Yeah. Do you know what?
'Cause she's very
you're right.
cool.
You're right. I've changed my mind. I love this film. This is the best film of the year.
No, but like, it's creative and cool. Like,
Yeah.
like, how often do we come out of the cinema with rolling our eyes, going, "Oh, that was
Oh no,
good."
it's great.
Yeah.
Like you cannot criticize this movie of being the same old shit because it's not.
Yeah.
And I respect that.
Anyway, thank you everyone for listening. Go back a few episodes, listen to our Frankenstein review. Go back 2 weeks, listen to Wuthering Heights, another Gothic adaptation. Though I find this one, at least, was more ambitious, I think, than the Wuthering Heights adaptation.
Good year for Gothic horror.
It is a good year, yeah. And if you enjoy listening to us talk about movies, come over to Patreon, where every month we watch a retro movie selected by our patrons. This month we watched Magnolia,
Yeah.
first time watch for both of us, and we're watching a lot of TV at the moment. So come over.
Yeah,
for
that
lots of
Game
TV
of Thrones,
reviews.
Crown of
Seven
the
Kingdoms?
Night of the Seven Kingdoms episode is coming.
We're watching.
I'm sorry, we haven't had a chance to talk about
And
it,
we're
but we
watching the
finished
new
it.
show on Netflix, Vladimir. We're currently watching How to Get to Heaven from Belfast. There's a ton of good TV.
Yeah,
at the
so we'll
moment.
do a TV roundup very
Yeah,
shortly of
come
all
over
that
to
stuff.
Patreon for all that.
Patreon.com/theCinemile.
And if you enjoyed this podcast, we beg of you, please subscribe on Spotify or Apple Podcasts or wherever you listen and leave us a 5-star review. It means an awful lot, more than you know, to independent podcasts. And most people who listen kind of don't do it. So we would ask if you, please do. It means a lot.
And thank you for listening.
Bye.
Bye. Thanks to Maggie G.
The Bride of Frankenstein.
No, just the bride. Scared?